What's up? What's up? What's popping? What's popping? Yeah, you you guys already know that every once in a while I'll touch on some sports, and man, and thus far, for those of you who's been paying attention to this year's NBA Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors, last night we just seen a Game 3 win by the Boston Celtics, in which they won, and the final score was 116 to 100, as the Boston Celtics are up 2 games to 1 in this series. In Game 4 of the NBA Finals will take place tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time in Boston's home court once again. And as of right now, even though Boston whooped some ass last night, I still think this series is up for grabs for anybody. I still think Boston has a chance to win the series, but at the same time, Golden State Warriors have a chance to win this series. So I think this series is still up for grabs. But if the Boston Celtics consistently play the way that they played last night, they'll win the series. Because and I'm saying that because if you want to keep it real, nobody in the Golden State Warriors can really guard Jason Tatum. Your best bet for any player in the Warriors to at least contain Jason Tatum would be either Andrew Wiggins or what's this guy's name? Otto Porter Jr. Otto Porter Jr., he has the size and he has the athleticism to keep up with Jason Tatum. But I don't know if he's that talented of a defender to be able to contain him. But that's the Golden State Warriors, those two players, Andrew Wiggins and Otto Porter Jr., are the Golden State Warriors' best hope to at least contain Jason Tatum. But if Jason Tatum offensively consistently play the way he played last night throughout this whole NBA Finals, the Celtics are going to win this series. And one thing with the Boston Celtics, if you paid attention to how they played in this playoffs, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Miami Heat, and also in the prior round when they played in round 2 of the Eastern Conference playoffs against the Milwaukee Bucks. In my personal opinion, one main reason why those two series ended up in the Game 7 is because the Boston Celtics have a bad habit of not being consistent on offense. When you pay attention to those two series, if you have paid attention to those two series, and if you also paid attention to Game 2 of this year's NBA Finals, you would see that the Boston Celtics would have, as a team, would have a great offensive night, and the very next game, the Boston Celtics they play terrible offensively. Now, defensively, the Boston Celtics is consistent. That's one thing you can never sleep on when it comes to this Boston Celtics team, is their team defense. They'll always play consistent on defense, but basketball is a two-dimensional game where not only do you have to stop the other team from scoring, but you have to score the basket also. Your team have to also score the basket just as much as your team have to prevent the opposing team from scoring. And like I said before, the Boston Celtics have a bad habit of being inconsistent offensively, thus they score the ball poorly in certain games. And you'll see in game 4 what I'm talking about. I mean, once again, when you just look at the prior 2 series that the Boston Celtics played in, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But like I said before, if the Boston Celtics consistently play the way that they played last night in this series, they'll win the series. They'll win the finals. If they played the way that they played in game 3 of this NBA Finals throughout the entire series, the Boston Celtics will win the NBA Finals this year. I mean, and man, and speaking of defense, I mean, the Golden State Warriors did a bad job on defense last night. I mean, when I was watching the game, I saw so much bad defensive rotations. It was to the point that you saw Steph Curry guarding Jason Tatum. I'm like, what the fuck? Steph Curry is like at most 6'2", 6'3". Jason Tatum is like 6'10". There's no way someone that's 6'3" could guard a player that's 6'10". Get out of here. The Golden State Warriors played terrible team defense. As a team, the Boston Celtics last night played a smarter game than the Golden State Warriors. The Boston Celtics not only out-rebounded Golden State, they not only outscored Golden State, they not only outpassed Golden State, but they outsmarted Golden State. I mean, I was seeing there was this one play, I think it happened in the third quarter, where the Boston Celtics had the ball, and what's this guy's name? Williams. Not Grant Williams, but the other Williams. The center. The guy with the dreads, The other Williams. I forgot this guy. Not Grant Williams, but the other Williams. He set a screen on the wing to let one of the guards free. I think he set an off the ball screen to let Jaylen Brown free, right? So Jaylen Brown ran all the way to the opposite wing, to the point the fact that two players from the Golden State Warriors was chasing after Jaylen Brown, which left Williams free in the middle, and he cut in the middle. And I think Jason Tatum or someone passed him the ball, and homeboy made an easy dunk in the center, and nobody guarded him. I mean, simple plays like that. I mean, the Boston Celtics was using simple plays like that to outsmart the Golden State Warriors. And they was outsmarting the Golden State Warriors on simple plays. And they was, once again, the Boston Celtics out-rebounded the Golden State Warriors. As you see, Grant Williams was grabbing so much offensive rebounds. A lot of Grant Williams' points, he scored off of getting a rebound and just put it back. Oh, and speaking about the big men in the middle, what happened to Draymond Green on defense? He's supposed to be the Golden State Warriors' best defender, and and in game 1 and games 1 and 2 of the NBA Finals, he was talking so much shit to Grant Williams. But Grant Williams got the last laugh in last night's game, as he was giving it to Draymond Green. I mean, the big man for the Boston Celtics was having an easy time getting their rebounds, catching lobs in the middle of the paint, and alley-ooping it. That was sad to see. Well, it wasn't sad. I'm not really a fan of none of these two teams. As you can see, I'm a Laker fan. And as a Laker fan, I don't really know who to root for, really, as a Laker fan. I don't know if I want the Golden State Warriors to lose this series or if I want the Boston Celtics to lose this series. You know, damn. Yeah, man. But let's see what happens in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Let's see what happens. Like I said, regardless of what happened last night, this series is still up for grabs. And I'll say this. If the Boston Celtics win Game 4 of the NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics will win in 6. But if the Golden State Warriors win Game 4, this series might go to a Game 7. Especially if the Boston Celtics play inconsistently offensively. If they play inconsistent on the offensive side of the ball, as they've done in the past 2 series. And Game 4, which is going to take place tomorrow night, is a must-win for the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have to win this game. They have to win one of those 2 games in Boston. And then Game 5 will go back to San Francisco in the Golden State Warriors home court. You know, if Golden State win this game, I'm talking about Game 4 that's going to take place tomorrow night, they would tie the series 2-2, thus go back home in Game 5, playing their home court with a little bit more confidence. If they win Game 4, that's going to help them play better in Game 5, where the series is going to go right back to San Francisco. So tomorrow night's game, Game 4 of this NBA Finals, is a must-win for the Golden State Warriors. But if the Boston Celtics win this game tomorrow, I see them winning 6 games. I see them winning the whole series in Game 6. If they lose this game tomorrow, I could see if they lose this game tomorrow, then this series is still up for grabs. That's the way I look at it thus far in this year's NBA Finals. But oh yeah, last night in last night's game, in Game 3 of the NBA Finals, Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics had 27 points. He scored the most points in the Boston Celtics. The second highest scorer in the Celtics was Jason Tatum with 26 points. And the third highest scorer in the Celtics was Marcus Smart. And the player who scored the most points among all players in both teams was Steph Curry, as he scored 31 points. He scored 31 points, but that still was not enough to beat the Boston Celtics. And Klay Thompson, he scored 25 points. Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors scored 25 points in Game 3 of the NBA Finals, but it still was not enough to beat Boston. Boston played like a true team last night, where multiple players in the Boston Celtics had a dominant, they had like a dominant few minutes in the court. You know, almost all the players in the Boston Celtics performed well. A lot of players in the Boston Celtics scored the ball well. Like I just named the top 3 scorers of last night's game in the Boston Celtics team. You know, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Grant Williams had a good game. The other Williams, I forgot his first name, had a good game. He scored a few points. For some role players who don't really score that much, they scored a nice few points. You know, White, what's his name? Derek White. He had a decent game. He had a decent game last night. But nonetheless, thus far in this series is still up for grabs as far as who can win the whole series. Thus far, any team can win it. Any team can win it. But like I said before, if the Boston Celtics consistently play the way that they played last night in game 3 of this series, they will win the title. They will win the NBA Finals. Because when you got that whole entire team playing at the way that they play, and you have Jason Tatum playing great on the offensive end, and at the same time, really nobody in the Golden State Warriors could guard Jason Tatum, unless if someone in the Golden State Warriors, or being that the Golden State Warriors is in San Francisco and somebody in Silicon Valley lends the Golden State Warriors their time machine, and they sent Andre Iguodala from the past to come to 2022 and guard Jason Tatum, then there'll be some hope to contain Jason Tatum. Because a younger version of Andre Iguodala would be able to really give Jason Tatum some trouble guarding him. I mean, remember, in the 2015 NBA Finals when the Golden State Warriors was playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers, at that time, LeBron James was the star player of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You saw how, on a one-on-one level, how Andre Iguodala was guarding LeBron James and giving LeBron James issues. This was a younger Andre Iguodala. So if Andre Iguodala could guard LeBron James and give LeBron James issues, and LeBron James is supposed to be the best player in the league, that same younger Andre Iguodala would have given Jason Tatum even more problems. If a younger Andre Iguodala, hopped in the time machine, came to 2022, played in game 4 of the NBA Finals and guarded Jason Tatum. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But you can't wait to watch game 4 tomorrow. So far, it's a pretty decent NBA Finals, I'm pissed off. I'm still pissed off and bitter that my Lakers did not even make the damn playoffs. But at the same time, I saw it coming. Because you don't bring Russell Westbrook to a team who plan to win the NBA Finals. You're not going to win the finals or even make it to the finals with Russell Westbrook. That motherfucker got to be tricked. Oh, yeah, and congratulations to Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham is the new head coach of the LA Lakers. Even though I like Frank Vogel, Frank Vogel should not have been fired. I think what went on. I mean, Frank Vogel, when he was the coach for the Lakers, he did dumb shit. He did a lot of dumb shit, but some say it was really LeBron James that was manipulating the situation. Because, the NBA is a players' league. But regardless, I like Frank Vogel. He's a good coach. But I really think he's a better head coach than Darvin Ham. But let's see what Darvin Ham going to do. I like the fact that the Lakers hired Rasheed Wallace as an assistant coach. Yeah, Rasheed Wallace is now an assistant coach with the LA Lakers. Yeah, man, that's good. That's good. But yeah, going back to Frank Vogel's situation. Like when Frank Vogel was still the head coach of the Lakers this past season, like I saw him did things where, to me, it didn't make any sense. Like, for example, have LeBron play the center position. LeBron James cannot play no center. He power forward, yes. Small forward, yes. Point forward, yes. Not no center. Meanwhile, you have a healthy Dwight Howard sitting in the bench. You have a healthy Dwight Howard sitting on the bench and him not getting any play time. That's stupid, man. Especially when Anthony Davis was hurt throughout most of the season. He was injured throughout most of the season, and you don't play Dwight Howard, who's not only one of the strongest players in your team, but a very good rebounder. Come on, man. Come on. I didn't get that, but I didn't get get that, but word in the street was that it was really LeBron James that was manipulating that shit. I don't know. But I felt that was stupid regardless. But nonetheless, I think Frank Vogel was like a lot like what happened with the Lakers season this season. To me, I didn't think it was totally Frank Vogel's fault. I really blame LeBron James in the front office for making very bad decisions last offseason when they was making these terrible trades. Got Russell Westbrook. You know, they let go of in the middle of the season. They traded. I don't know if they cut or they traded. I think they cut Rajon Rondo, who helped the Lakers win the championship in 2020. How you cut him? And I still didn't like the fact that players like Contavious Caldwell-Pope and Montrezl Harrell was traded for this bum called Russell Westbrook. The thing is with Russell Westbrook is that if you pay, I've paid attention to Russell Westbrook ever since he played in college in UCLA in that 2007-2008 season. When he played for UCLA in college alongside Kevin Love and Darren Collison. And what's that other player name? Then there's this other player that got drafted that played in UCLA alongside with Westbrook and Kevin Love and Darren Collison. I keep forgetting his name. All right, well, fuck it. And one thing I've constantly saw with Russell Westbrook is that A, he's really a shooting guard. He was never a point guard. I don't know why. I get it because of his height. The NBA wanted to put him in the point guard position, but he's really a natural shooting guard. And also, number two, he's one of those players you rely more on his athleticism than anything. He really, Russell Westbrook is very athletic, but the thing is, with athleticism, is that it declines when you get older. And Westbrook, how old is he? What? I know he's in his 30s. So he's at a stage where his athleticism is starting to decline. And that's the problem when you're the type of player who mostly relies on your athleticism, that when it starts declining, you end up having nothing in your repertoire as a player. And that's the case with Russell Westbrook. But anyhow, I'm through speaking. So, yeah, as far as this NBA Finals is concerned, once again, I still believe that it's up for grabs. Anybody could still win it. And I also believe that whichever team wins game 4 is going to be the team that's going to win this year's NBA Finals. Mark my words. Whichever team wins game 4 of this year's NBA Finals is going to be the team that's going to end up winning the finals overall. Mark my words. All right. That's all I have to say. Peace out. Peace.